I am your Super Teacher Gorby, and today we will learn about Fusion Monsters. Fusion Monsters is the first extra deck category of monsters in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Fusion summoning is when two monsters fuse together to make a new, hopefully, stronger monster. The first group of fusion monsters were incredibly bad, but as the game progressed, new fusion monsters were created that till to this day are prevalent in competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! In order to fusion summon to create this fusion monster, you typically would need a fusion spell card. There is no symbol that characterizes something to be a fusion card. You simply have to read the card text to see if it can fuse or not. When you activate the fusion spell card, you get to fusion summon a monster from your extra deck using the fusion monster's required materials. Fusion monsters can be identified as they are colored purple. And in this example here, we want to fusion summon Cyber End Dragon. In the text box for Cyber End Dragon, the fusion materials listed are 3 Cyber Dragons. 3 Cyber Dragons are listed as material, and we are going to use that to create our Cyber End Dragon. Now, we already have 3 Cyber Dragons in our hand. So I activate the spell card Polymerization, which in the text says we can fusion summon a monster using materials from our hand and or field. There will be instances where a card can be used as a substitute for a fusion material. In this example, Cyber Dragon Core says that in the text that it is a Cyber Dragon monster when on the field or graveyard. Now then, let's try to fusion summon Cyber Twin Dragon, which requires having 2 monsters named Cyber Dragon. So how do we go about this? First, Cyber Dragon Core. Now that it's on the field, it is technically the monster Cyber Dragon. Activate Polymerization in our hand, and now we can summon Cyber Twin Dragon. You cannot fusion summon if you don't fulfill the requirements to summon the fusion monster. There are many types of fusion spell cards that each do a plethora of different things. The spell card Overload Fusion allows you to fusion summon using the monsters in your graveyard as material. Specifically, you need to be able to summon a Dark Machine monster from your extra deck though. Cards like Branded Fusion and Fusion Destiny allow you to fusion summon using monsters directly from your deck as material. In this example, we want to fusion summon the monster Destroy Phoenix Enforcer. I'm going to use Destiny Hero Dasher and Destiny Hero Celestial from my deck to be used as material. And just like that, Destiny Hero Destroy Phoenix Enforcer is now on the field.
The brainworms!
Spell cards aren't the only way to fusion summon. We can use monster effects to fusion summon as well. For this example, let's use one of the more popular fusion decks right now currently being played on Master Duels and in real life, Branded. The fusion spell card Branded Fusion, just like the spell card we previously used in Fusion Destiny, allows us to fusion summon using monsters in our deck as material. The fusion monster Lebellion the Syrian Dragon requires a dark monster and the monster Fallen of Albaz to be used as materials. Activate the spell card Branded Fusion, send the 2 cards needed from the deck to the graveyard. And now our fusion monster is onto the field. What makes Lebellion so good is that the monster card has the effect to fusion summon as well. While playing this game, you will find monsters have the ability to fusion summon without the need of a fusion spell cards to be used. We are trying to summon Mirror Jade, the Ice Blade Dragon. This fusion monster requires the monster Fallen of Albaz and a fusion Synchro Xyz or Link monster, but wait! Fallen of Albaz is in our graveyard. So how do we summon this monster? Lebellion's text says that we can use monsters from a graveyard to be used as material, as when the effect resolves, the materials will be shoveled back into the deck. Sounds confusing? Well, here's how it looks. Trap cards can be used to fusion summon as well, like the card Necrofusion. Necrofusion is a trap card that allows me to fusion summon using materials from my graveyard. Going back to Destroy Phoenix Enforcer, I activate Necrofusion with the knowledge of the materials used for its summon already in the graveyard. Necrofusion says I have to banish the materials face down, which I do. And now my fusion monster is on the field. Contact fusing is another way to summon fusion monsters. These monsters don't need a card effect in order to be special summoned. Let's use Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon as an example. The card says it cannot be used for fusion material, but here's the important part. Must first be special summoned from the extra deck, sending the above materials from either field to the graveyard. The materials are a Cyber Dragon and a Machine type monster. As you can see here, I have a Cyber Dragon already on the field, and my opponent just so happens to have a Machine monster on the field as well. I can just special summon my Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon without the need of a spell, trap, or monster effect. There are many types of fusion based decks out there. Some can contact fuse while others can't, Be sure to read card effects of Fusion Summon, as there is always extra bit of information that you need to know if you're going to use it. Powerful fusion cards like Super Polymerization allows you to use your opponent's monsters as materials without them stopping you. Power Bond fuses a machine monster that gives it double attack. Instant Fusion allows you to just special summon a level 5 or lower monster from your extra deck, but it gets destroyed at the end phase and its effects are negated. Some decks need specific fusion spell cards that don't work in other decks. So if you're deciding to play a fusion focused deck, I recommend decks like Branded, Hero, Cyber Dragon, Gladiator Beast, and Ancient Gear. The most powerful fusion deck, Tearlaments, just had a couple cards banned, but if you want to experiment, I recommend you check them out as well. Fusion Monsters has the largest pool of extra deck monsters in the game, so if you want to play Fusion Monsters, do your research on which fusion cards or decks you want to play. That does it for today's lesson. Thank you for tuning in. Feel free to hit like and subscribe if you want to. You totally don't have to want to do so, but really cool if you did. So I hope you do well in today's quiz, and I'll see you next time.
It's quiz time!